Today we're checking out the Marshall amps in the Nux MG-30. The Nux MG-30 is currently my favorite low-budget modeling unit. It sounds kick-ass, really, and honestly, I wish that Nux would come out with a slightly bigger unit with more features. For example, more ins and outs, MIDI ins and outs, more foot switches. Then it would definitely be something which I would like to try out. But that said, the Nux MG-30, it sounds kick-ass, and I got really good results regarding every tone which I had in my mind, which I wanted to create. Please check out my videos about that unit. I made recently one with where I was trying to replicate the tone of the Neural GSP archetype Petrucci, which is, in my opinion, the best sounding plugin on the market. That is the result. And I used a Marshall amp because I got the best results with that. And today I would like to show you some of the other Marshall amps, because I found out that most of them, they sound really impressive. So I've opened up the editor for you here, and this is my patch, which I showed you in another video. I'm using an Ownhammer IR. The IRs that come with the unit, they're okay. I can show you maybe the sound with a V4x12. Also okay, especially if you use the microphone, which is fitting. Maybe this one. I don't know. You can move the microphone. Of course, you have to dial in the EQ a little bit different. So they're okay, but I like the Ownhammer IR, which I'm always using. The package is called Heavy Hitters or something, and this is the single cabinet 4x12 Mesa V30 G80. It's called Modern and something, maybe 7 or 6, the numbers. I don't know. Please try them out. Sound great. Anyway, so let's turn off the chorus, which I'm using for this nice stereo effect. Maybe I can turn off the delay also, and then we can hear the sound more clearly. So this is a raw amp sound, a little bit of reverb. By the way, I'm using this Harley Benton Fusion 3 guitar with everything stock, Roswell humbuckers. So here, as you can see, I'm using the Brit 2000 model, which is maybe the Marshall JCM DSL. I own the real amp. Sounds really nice. Also the real thing with the Marshall cabinet. And it's easy to dial in. You can crank everything here and it sounds usable. So that doesn't do that much. The key to my tone is that usually I'm using a high cut, which was deactivated when I changed the cabinet here. So let's go back to the safe position. So as you can see here, I'm using the high cut very drastically, 5K, and I'm using a parametric EQ here. Because the Petrucci plugin, which I tried to emulate, had a very huge low end. Okay, so let's turn that off. So that is my raw amp tone. Or not the raw amp tone, it's with the equalization. And so let's check out some other Marshall amps. And we have here these Plexis Jcm-800 in the 1987. So let's start maybe with the Plexi 100. That sounds like shit, but yeah, we will try out our Mesa IR. Set the high cut again. And here you have definitely this pick attack, which the Plexis do have. You can hear really the nice characteristic of a Plexi. As you can see here, I'm boosting the amp with this thing, Steel Singer. It's yeah, my favorite pedal emulation in this unit. So I will not change this. Also, I will not change the parametric EQ. So there's definitely nice, a nice crunch tone, in my opinion. Also like this early Yngwie tone. Not that much gain. Usually what people do with Plexis, they crank the master. You get nice power amp saturation. Sounds nice. And yeah, so that's definitely something which you should consider for this classic rock things. Maybe like Hotel California solo sound, or also the Guns N' Roses. What do we have? Maybe Appetite sound. And I personally like to use these kind of sounds also if you want to create some maybe nice strumming guitar sounds or something like that. With a little bit of chorus. Might be a little bit too much gain here, so for like that sounds you can also disengage the loops. And also, which is very nice, I like these, usually these vibe tones. I don't know exactly how to get it with this unit because I didn't play around with that. Usually it's maybe something like that. Anyway, but my favorite one is this chorus here. So yeah, the Plexis 100 is really my go-to amp if I'm after light crunch or maybe crunch tones. If you want that Ingwe tone, maybe it's also the right choice. And yeah, let's check out another model. What do we have? Maybe the Plexis 45, maybe Jcm-800, which is an amp which I'm not very familiar with. Let's crank the master out. Has a little bit less bass and also less gain, I think. Maybe raise the bass. Supposed maybe to be more or less a clean Marshall. Maybe better choice for these light crunch tones. Definitely not the right choice for high gains, but everything else sounds great. Maybe we can get high gains if you crank the gain here in this pedal. But then you get this ugly pedal distortion. A little bit muddy, so it's not something which I would prefer for a high gain tone. Yeah, but anyway, it's also very nice amp model for light crunch tones. And yeah, let's check out the Brit 800, Jcm-800 maybe. Also here, you can hear definitely the characteristic of the Jcm-800 with this pronounced upper mids, not that much bass. Crank the master, there you go. To be honest, I don't like the crank master that much, because it's somehow. But that's also with the real Jcm-800s in most cases. If they're not modded, they start clipping somewhere in the distortion stage if you crank the master. So in my opinion, the Jcm-800 is a great crunch amp. So if you've got a decent crunch tone, you have these Marshallish highs. Because the Plexi has, but it's a little bit more tight in the low end. So yeah, definitely a nice crunch amp. Can do everything except clean and high gain by itself, but if you boost it with the pedal, then you get also great. Yeah, for me, high gain tone. Very organic amp, reacts very nice to your playing, and yeah, it's also the case in this model. Nice. What else do we have? The 87. I don't know exactly what that amp is. Maybe it's a modified or also Jcm-800 from 1987. Anyway, seems to have not that much gain. Crank the master. From the picture it looks like a Plexi amp with these things where you can jump the channels. Also great for crunch tones, I think. Let's check out the other Plexi 100. They sound different. I think I should engage always this. Okay. Maybe let's try out to cut the highs here again, because it's always setting it back to max. There's the 100 watt Plexi. Let's check out the 87 Plexi. User. Sounds a little bit more bass heavy. Of course, you can always crank the bias here to get this power amps saturation thump, which is not always the best idea because it starts to get flubby in the bass. But sometimes people like this for leads especially. So yeah, if you want to have that effect, crank the bias here. Nice lead tone. But if you are after more tight rhythm tones, then maybe you should not raise it that much. That is the thing with the bias here. Let's check out the Brit 800 again with the high cut. Yeah, then you get rid of this this high well, Marshall scratch. Yeah, so I have to say, all these Marshall amps, they sound great, especially if you are after crunch or rock tones. If you want to get high gain tones, I recommend the one which I was using, the Architect Petrucci Atomic, which is the DSL or JCM 2000. You have definitely the Marshall thing going on with this amp, but it has more gain than the others. But for everything else, except for cleans, maybe you can use these Marshall amps. And for cleans, I mean, of course, if you are after light crunch cleans, maybe the Plexi or the JTM-45, they're also great. But if you are after pristine cleans with absolutely no distortion, then maybe the Marshall amps are not the right choice. That said, for everything else, they're working great. And I don't know if there are other marshes here, but yeah, maybe let's check out the Friedman, because it's, from what I know, maybe it was a hot rodded kind of Marshall amp circuit. But as you can hear, it sounds way different here. You don't need to boost it. Friedman by itself has more than enough gain. I think you can definitely hear the Marshall vibe going on. Sounds great, but honestly, I prefer the DSL in this unit. Maybe let's check out the Friedman again, but let's raise the volume a little bit, because that is sometimes that sounds also nice. Yeah, so there we have it. I think this unit offers great Marshall tones, and yeah, please post your comments below, subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.